The seven biggest college football games this Saturday, October the 11th. Free analysis, free picks coming up right here, right now. Hi, this is Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com, right back here on Wager Talk TV, and this is your weekly college football top 25 report. But as always, I'm going to dig much deeper and give you some bonus games as well. So this is really a top 40 report, the seven biggest games in the country this Saturday for Week 7. We're going to go down in start time order. I'll give you the three true head-to-head top 25 matchups and four bonus games after that. And let's keep it rolling here. At 12 noon Eastern, don't have to wait long for a couple of these games. Number 1 ranked Ohio State, the best team in the country, against number 17 Illinois. And it's on the road, though, just the second road game this season for Ohio State. And by the way, this is on Fox National TV. Just saying, Julian Saban's been playing pretty well this season. I was concerned about his first start at Washington a couple of weeks ago, but they won 24-6. But keep in mind, that was an early scoring, low scoring 7-3 game in the first half. And my colleague Ralph Michaels, I guest appeared on the Blitz with Brian Power and Ralph Michaels on Thursday afternoon, and Ralph mentioned a way to play this game, which I think was pretty enticing, and that's to play the first quarter under between these two squads. I believe it's 7.5. I look for both teams to be conservative coming out. I rate Ohio State as the best defense in the country, and we saw Illinois really struggle against Indiana, the one team they stepped up against a couple weeks ago. They had only 2 rushing yards and only 161 total yards. I think they're going to struggle to move the ball here. The concern, though, is they gave up over 570 yards and 63 points to Indiana. So if you're going to play the under, you probably want to do it sooner than later in this game. And I think the first quarter under makes sense, as they'll probably not take a lot of chances with Julian Saban making just his second road start of his career. By the way, my 10,000 game simulation has Ohio State by 13.8, by 14 points in this game, which is right on the current point spread of 14. If you're going to play the side, I would rather lay it. I just don't trust Illinois. They got dominated by Indiana. I think Ohio State is the best team in the country right now. At 14 or less, which is the current number, I would lay it if you're going to play it with Ohio State. That's the only side I'd prefer in this game. But I do agree with Ralph. I think that under first quarter is a sneaky way to maybe play a slow start in this game. That's at 12 noon Eastern. Also an early kickoff. These teams are often a little sluggish to those early kickoffs as well. Another early kickoff on ABC at noon Eastern, number 8 Alabama at number 14 Missouri. Definitely one of the best games this week. If Missouri is for real, and we'll find out because they haven't really played anybody, a much weaker schedule than Bama. But boy, is the situational setup good for Missouri in this one. Coming off the bye week, easy game against UMass the week before that. It's almost like a double bye. And then Alabama, meanwhile, is in a tough scheduling spot. The huge underdog win at Georgia. And then the letdown after the Vanderbilt win, well, it's possible because keep in mind that was a big revenge game for Alabama last week after losing as a 23-point road favorite at Vanderbilt last year. So scheduling spot definitely favors Missouri, and they are a live dog defensively, giving up just 14.5 points a game this season. And yards per play, they're only giving up 3.9 yards per play. Problem is there's no line value here. The whole situational setup has been priced in because my 10,000 game simulation favors Alabama by 5. This line opened 4.5. It's now down to 3. So while the situational setup, you can make some arguments for Missouri, I do still think Alabama is the better team, and the line is too short. Once again, I favor Bama by 5. The current line is just -3. So I'm going to look at the total instead here, and I would lean under the 51.5, 52. 51 is a very key number. About a 3% chance the game lands exactly on 51. So as long as it stays 51.5, 52, which is the current total, I do think the under has some value in this game because I mentioned how strong that Missouri defense has been this year. They've been very balanced strong against both the run and the pass. Well, the Alabama defense has been pretty strong as well, giving up just 16 points a game and just 5.3 yards per play. I look for maybe a lower scoring game than expected. And once again, maybe the first half or first quarter under these high-profile games. We saw that Oregon-Penn State game a few weeks ago, 3-3 late in the first half. Once again, maybe look at the under in the first quarter or first half as well. But I would lean under. Game's pretty much on my ratings here. I can make an argument for both sides. The line value favors Bama. The situation, though, favors Missouri. That it's at 12 noon Eastern on ABC. All right, your other two top 25 matchup is the best game of the week, a top 7 matchup. Number 7, Indiana at number 3, Oregon, 3:30 Eastern, Saturday afternoon on CBS National TV. And I mentioned earlier how impressive Indiana looked in that step-up game against Illinois, a top 25 matchup a couple weeks ago, 63-10. They were somewhat held in check last week by what's usually a pretty good Iowa defense, a lackluster 20-15 win, or 2 weeks ago rather. But then they had the bye last week, so it's a nice setup for them in that regard. Oregon also had the bye after the big Penn State win So the bye came at a good time, I think, for both of these squads. And this one, once again, pretty much right on my ratings as the line opened at 9.5. It's been bet down. We have seen some sharp money come in on the Indiana Hoosiers. It's now down to that key number of 7, and lo and behold, my 10,000 game simulation favors Oregon by 8.5 points, right in the middle of the opening line and the current line. So I think the number is pretty much where it should be. I'm once again going to look at the total instead to find some value, and I like the over 55 in this game. Mentioned how explosive that Indiana offense was, putting up 63 points. Well, keep in mind, they put up 73 and 56 points the 2 weeks before that. Yes, they did struggle to run the ball against Iowa a couple weeks ago in their last game, but I look for them to get back on track in this one. Both teams are excellent defensive teams. In fact, in my power ratings right now, I rank them both top 7 offenses and top 7 defenses. That's how good they are. But one thing I've noticed in recent years, when I started in the 90s, 29 years ago, August of 96, as you know, it was always good defenses beat good offenses in most sports, even in the early 2000s. But one thing that's changed with these explosive pass-heavy offenses is that good offenses now beat good defenses. And it's a sneaky way to play overs, and I think that works here. 2 top 10 offenses and defenses. I'd rather have points. And in this one, we get a very reasonable total at 55. I think the side's priced pretty much where it should be, but once again, total maybe a little low. Indiana and Oregon up and over the 55 points. You've got an Oregon offense averaging 47 points a game, Indiana averaging 48 points a game. These are 2 good defensive teams, but I think both offenses are still better at 3:30 Eastern on CBS. Are those your 3 true top 25 matchups for this Saturday, October the 11th? But I want to go deeper. There's 4 more games in which we have ranked versus unranked, but teams that are getting additional votes. I use the AP poll, so all these teams are still getting some additional votes. They're all top 40-ish, if you will. And if some of these teams pull the upset, although some are favored, actually, we'll talk about that in a moment. But once again, if the lower unranked team, I should say, wins, they might be ranked next week. Let's talk about a really big game, and how crazy is this that Texas is actually not ranked anymore. They were the preseason number 1 team over a month ago. Just over a month ago, they were the number 1 team in the country, and they're not top 25 anymore. Texas is on the outside looking in after that loss to Florida last week. They're now 27th, and I say that because they're they're getting the second most additional votes, so they're 27th. Oklahoma number 6. Red River Rivalry. Don't you dare call it the shootout. Can't do that no more. No. It's the Triple R, the Red River Rivalry. I think that's still okay to say. Hey, 3:30 Eastern, ABC. Number 6 Oklahoma, unranked but number 27-ish Texas. And this should be a great game. A lot of uncertainty, though, which makes it hard to handicap as I'm doing this video on Thursday evening, because we don't know the quarterback situation for the Heisman favorite a couple weeks ago, Mateer, who's now been out. Chance he might return. Line's been kind of jumping around. You really will have to keep an eye on this to see what happens. So the side in this game, by the way, I favor Oklahoma by about 0.5 point. My simulation favors Oklahoma by 0.5 point. Currently, as of Thursday afternoon, Oklahoma is a slight dog in this game, about a 1-point dog. So here is one of those unranked favorites against a ranked team. Line, by the way, opened 3. The fact that Mateer might return now, it's down to 1. Pick 'em. We'll keep an eye on it. The total's also risen because of that, from 42.5 up to 43, 43.5. Regardless of the situation, I'd like it better if backup Hawkins is under center still for Oklahoma. He's a weaker quarterback. But either way, I think the under does have some value in this game for a few reasons. First of all, 2 really good defensive teams. The reason Texas is not top 25 anymore is the offense is struggling. They're not even a top 50 offense for me right now. And Arch Manning has proven to maybe be a little bit overrated. But the defense is for real. I rank both of these defensive teams top 4, number 2 and number 4 in my rankings. And Oklahoma's not even top 20 offense. So both teams are outside the top 20 in offense. Texas's case outside the top 50, but both are top 5 defensive teams. So regardless of the quarterback situation, if you're going to play the total, I like the under 43.5 between Oklahoma and Texas at 3:30 Eastern. And that game, once again, is on, ABC National TV. All right, 3 more bonus games for you. And this is a good one. At 7:30 Eastern Saturday night on NBC, number 15 Michigan going to number 31 ranked USC. USC once again 6th in the additional votes, so they'd come in at 31st. And if they win this game, they might be ranked next week, and I think they do win this game. The odds makers are saying it as well. Here, another unranked favorite. I love these bonus games where we get unranked favorites. It's almost a fade the public scenario. And not only does that work here, but we also get line value. My 10,000 game simulation favors USC on average by 6 points in this game over Michigan. And that's because I rank them right now as the number 1 offensive unit in the country. They're that explosive. On the season, they're averaging 48.5 points a game, and at home this year, an incredible 59 points a game. USC on the season throws the ball about 31 times a game, and they're averaging 11 yards per pass attempt, not completion, per attempt, which means every time they drop back to throw on average, they're getting a first down this year. Yes, Michigan is a very good defensive team. They've held squads to just 16 points a game this season, but they have faced nothing like this USC attack. And then on top of that, USC is coming off a bye week, so it's a favorable scheduling spot as well. Line value, good scheduling setup here. I like the unranked favorite in this one, USC minus 2.5, and play it sooner than later because 3 is such a key number. About an 8 to 9% chance USC wins by exactly a field goal. So you want to lock in that 2.5 and don't risk it going to 3. If you like Michigan, you wait, but I prefer USC in this game minus the 2.5 at 7:30 Eastern Saturday night on NBC. All right, another game here at 10:15 Eastern, a late night game for you on ESPN, Arizona State and Utah. Arizona State coming in as number 21 in the country, and here again we have an unranked favorite. All 3 of these games have a very similar theme, and that's why I wanted to bring them as bonus games for you here in my top 25 report. Utah coming in with the 4th most additional votes, which means they're technically 29th right now, and if they win this game, as I think they will, they'll be ranked next week, and Arizona State most likely will be unranked. So we've got number 21 Arizona State at number 29 Utah, 10:15 Eastern on ESPN National TV. And as I check the Odds Logic live odds screen, we'll see that Utah is a substantial favorite in this one, even though they're coming in unranked. But I'm not sure the line is high enough. In fact, my game simulation favors Utah by over 10 points in this game, and the current line is Utah minus 5.5, 6. It's 6 in some spots. It's dropped to 5.5 in others. So yes, there is line value with the Utes, as I have over a 10-point win on average here. And the difference in this game, both teams are top 40-ish offenses. Utah's a top 10 defense. I rate them as the definite stronger defensive team in this game, and I think that'll be the difference in this one. By the way, both teams have been very mediocre throwing the ball. Arizona State, 6.6 yards per pass against teams that allow 6.8. Utah 7 against teams that allow 7. So both pass defenses hold substantial edges here, and both teams get over half their rushing yards, over half their offensive yards by rushing the ball. Both teams run for over 50% of their total yards. So I think that'll help the under in this game. Keep the clock moving. When you don't have explosive offenses throwing the ball, less big plays, it's unlikely their running back's going to break a 60-yard touchdown run against 2 good run defenses. So I also like the under 48 in this game. I lean Utah minus 5.5 based on line value, and also under 48 in this game between 2 teams that don't throw the ball that well. That's your late game, 10:15 Eastern, Saturday night on ESPN. Now there's one other bonus game. Let's get to Lucky 7 here. I'm going to give you one bonus game, and this one's really reaching because this team is getting one additional vote. Dead last in the additional votes, which means they'd be 39th, and that's Auburn against number 10 Georgia. So it's number 10 Georgia at number 39 Auburn because they're getting one additional vote. The only team getting an additional vote, just getting one. The last one in the AP poll at 7:30 Eastern on ABC. But I wanted to point this game out because I do think Auburn is a live dog in this one. Now, will they be ranked next week if they pull the upset? Perhaps. I don't know if they'll go from one additional vote to enough to be top 25 rather. But I do think this game is going to be tight. First of all, my 10,000 game simulation favors Georgia by just 1 point on average. Currently, they're about a 3.5 point favorite. So I do think there's some line value with Auburn. And I know they've looked ugly offensively the last couple games. They put up only 17 at Oklahoma, only 10 at Texas A&M. But those are 2 of the best defensive teams in the country on the road. And now they're coming off a bye week. Really like the setup here for Auburn. A little bit of a hold your nose, ugly underdog. And the betting markets aren't respecting them at 3.5. And Georgia has been suspect this year. They played tough against Alabama, actually ran for 227 yards. But the Auburn rush defense, when you factor in the opponents played, has really been strong this season. They're giving up just 88 rushing yards, just 2.6 yards per carry against teams that average 4.4 yards per rush. Georgia only averages 4.9. Auburn allowing just 16 points a game against teams that average 29 points a game. They have faced a really tough schedule, especially the last 2 weeks. And I think because of that, they're a little underrated now. I would lean towards Auburn at plus 3.5 or more, a key number, as I favor Georgia by just 1 in this game. Another bonus game I wanted to give you here in the top 40 report this week for Saturday, October the 11th. Woo! There you go, the 7 biggest college football games for this Saturday, week 7. What are your thoughts on these games? Which sides or totals do you agree or disagree with? What other games do you like? Hey, some under-the-radar games. You know, I had 2 easy best bet winners last week on big favorites from the small colleges. So once again, the mid-majors, if you will, the group of 5, whatever they're calling them. So yes, I'm giving you all the big games here, but we do dive a little bit deeper and have some under-the-radar best bets as well. Which games are you looking at this Saturday? Drop them in the comments below. Hey, include some analysis if you have time. Let's learn and earn and win together here on Wager Talk TV. And if you're liking these free play videos, all I ask is a thumbs up like. It takes 2 seconds to click that thumbs up like while you're watching and listening, and boom, I will keep these coming each and every week, including my NFL Fade the Public video, which will be up this weekend as well. Also, subscribe to Wager Talk TV. It's free, don't cost nothing. Over 223,000 subscribers and climbing. Just click subscribe and click the bell as well for an instant alert so you never miss out when these free play videos are posted each day here on the channel. By the way, speaking of free plays, I've got an advanced NFL free play for Sunday morning on my page right now, free for everybody at wagertalk.com. Steve Merrill, wagertalk.com. And while you're there, check out some incredible best bet specials for this weekend as well. All sports, all access, which means you get college and pro basketball, college and pro football, and Major League Baseball. Now, if you do the 7-day sampler, you're going to get baseball and football. But if you do one of the bigger packages, the NBA starts in less than 2 weeks, college hoops right after that. And I bring that up because these are 3 all sport, all access offers we have right now on my page. 7 days for $77. That's $11 a day. Buy 3 months, get the 4th month for free. That's a great offer. It's a $300 instant discount. Or the best deal, especially if you're ready to take a serious, consistent investment approach. Don't wait to make that New Year's resolution in January. Get the rest of 2025 for free when you sign up for 2026. That's the next 2.5 months plus the rest of this year, all sports, all access for free when you sign up for next year. Now look, there's no promo code needed. All 3 special offers are listed on my page right now with full details, and it's quite simple. If I have a best bet that I'm using personally, my clients get it. So it doesn't matter if you're a 1 day, a 1 week, a 1 month, or a 1 year subscriber. Everybody is getting the same plays that I'm using each and every day with detailed analysis. Same games I've won consistently with for the past 29 years since I started in August of 96. Now, if you want a 1 week sampler, it's $77. If you want the 3 months, you get the 4th month free. If you want the 1 year, you get the rest of this year free and all of next year. That's like a 14.5 month package. Go there right now. Figure out which one works best for you. Check out the previous best bets. They're recapped at the bottom of my page each and every day. A rolling recap of the last 20 best bets that I've given my clients. You can click on them also to read the analysis to see how I do things. And don't forget about that bonus free play. I try to put one up every day for you, including an advanced NFL Sunday play right now with analysis. Steve Merrill, wagertalk.com. And hey, get there quicker with shortcut wt.buzz/SM. On the way out, don't forget to follow me on social media at Steve Merrill, 2 R's, 1 L, MERRIL, at Steve Merrill on X and Instagram. And stay tuned here to Wager Talk TV because you know there's more free play videos coming up next.